Happy Monday to you all. This is John McEntyre Show. I'm John McEntyre. It's John McEntyre Show live. I'm John McEntyre. Have to make sure to say the live thing, right? You think after all of this time, all of these shows, I would be saying live by now. But today is December the 23rd, 2024. One day from the big day. Quick question: are you one that says, we're two today? Are you 2 days from Christmas or one day? I say one day because Christmas Eve is Christmas to me. Some people they go by their actual, their traditions or whatever. When they open their gifts, they consider Christmas to be the day that they open their gifts. I'm gonna get the earliest I can get. So Christmas Eve was it. So Christmas Eve is Christmas to me. So this is one day away from Christmas. I hope everyone had a great weekend. I know I did. The desserts are piling up in the house, and when the desserts come in, I have to test them all, make sure they're all ready. And so I've had my fun. Andrea, the family, they've done their shopping, doing the shopping thing. I handle things internally. And so that's how I roll. But I hope y'all had to. Today is beautiful. It's a beautiful cold day here, and that's also a thing about that. It feels a lot like Christmas to me, is because we're not having one of those warm Christmas. Oh, I can't do those. I don't do those Christmases very well. They just don't feel that way. They just don't feel like Christmas to me. But now that it's cold, um, yeah, I'm liking this. I'm liking this, and I'm excited and I'm ready, as you can tell. But today is a sort of, I guess I want to call it almost like a freestyle day. Um, People have shared, sharing their wallet wins. They're saving the money. They're staying within budget, which is good. They're even doing plans for next year. They've taken care of everything for this year, Christmas gifts, all of that. Now they're preparing for next year, and so I want to thank everyone for sharing those wallet wins and questions. And today is it was posed as a question, but it's more of a topic for me. I'm going to present it as a topic on this live, and like I say, it's sort of like a freestyle today. Uh, but if while I'm talking, you want to share a wallet win or whatever, I make sure, and I'm watching the actual chat box there. So if you do share a wallet win, hashtag wallet win, I will make sure and celebrate with you. It's not that I don't want to celebrate wallet wins or anything. I have a lot of to celebrate. I've celebrated with the people. Um, so if you want to share it while you're watching live, I will definitely celebrate with you. And if you have a question, uppercase Q or lower or capital Q, capital as long as the large Q, I can work with it. I see it. The small Q, it sort of blends in, and so if I see the large uppercase or capital Q, I will answer your question. So this is not to say don't send in a question. This is live, and I do want and appreciate interaction. So I don't want you to think that I'm just not paying attention to that. We're not paying attention to that today because we are. But today, getting back to it, today is like a freestyle. I'm posing it as it's a topic. It's given to me as a question, um, and it it came about today. Well, last Friday marked the end of a um, quiet circle competition with a group of us that we all network together. We're part of our accountability group. Um, what is it called? Our mastermind group. It's a group of us. We're in different industries and different skill sets, talents, abilities, everything like that. Different experiences, ages, genders, everything. And we had I remember I told someone earlier about the reason why I do this daily live um, in this format is it came out of that contest back in. It started at the beginning of the year, um, and then something was posed to me, and I was like, okay, I know how I can win this. I really wanted to win it, and which I actually did. I won it. With this live, the competition was who could do the most videos. I had set a goal to do 50 videos for the year. This live, I'm at 139. I'm at 139. And so it was like, okay, how did how most people that struggling with doing, video, just video period, you jump and do live, and I don't have any experience. I didn't have any experience. And as you can tell, these aren't perfect. Um, and that was the way we wanted it. We didn't want to overthink everything. We just set it, everyone had a goal, and it was competition type thing. And so we was like, okay, video. We chose video. Whoever can do the most videos by the end of the year. And so I won it because I not only did the most, I barely did the most, but mine alive. And so um, we were all talking about it, and some, some newer people, some people that, we talk to when they come, come to talk to the group, come to talk to any of us. One of the questions is, how are you able to do these things? It seems like it's like effortless to you. And I said, well, it does take some work, a little bit of planning or whatever. I try not to overthink it. Um, but my answer was, with today's topic, I basically said, it's easy because of the way I set up my mindset with things when it comes to, wanting to achieve something that's important to me. Most people, you know, I in personal development, goal achievement, everything. If you read any type of a goal achievement book, most of the time it's saying how to, how to accomplish something, how to do something, how to have something. And so most people approach things from one or two ways. There are three ways to approach it, but most people approach it from one or two ways. It is have, do, be, or have, be, do, or do, have, be. You know, and so mine is be, do, have. I work on my being first before I, try to accomplish something. I work on my being. I said, the first question to me is, who do I have to be to achieve this or accomplish this or do something? Um, and so with these videos, I was like, okay, this goes back to when I first was introduced to television for business marketing. Um, I wasn't that way. I was just doing doing a television show. John, what do you do? I said, well, I'm in real estate, and aren't you on a television show? Oh, yes, I do. I do a television show. And so for the longest, that's the reason people have asked, why didn't you like take the show much further than it? It was perfect timing, a great niche, which is still is a good niche. Things like this, you could have done a lot more for it with the actual show than what you did. Even though we was nominated for an award, we did win some smaller awards, locally and everything. But it accomplished what I wanted. It helped us build business. I was a co-host, so I just saw myself as I do real estate, and sometimes I'm on television, which I was on television weekly, and so it it never became my identity. Basically, it never became part of my being. It was just something that I did, and I did it, and I had television shows. Had a television show. Later on, as I moved through things, and I met better mentors. And I went through a big. I don't want to call it a failure, um, but it was something that just didn't work in my favor, and I did learn from it. That's why I didn't call it a failure, because I learned from it. A mentor told me, said, well, the main reason why, and it was David Allen, the one that helped me bring television show back. He said, main reason why things didn't work out as well as they could have is because it never became part of your identity. It never became part of your being. And so when things becomes part of your being, you can't help but do what it takes to make it work. You just do. You're not busy doing things. You're just being. It's like you don't have to. And he taught me is that you don't have to train. Uh, uh, the reason why you don't have to train a baby to, a baby will eventually walk. They'll eventually talk. If they're healthy and things like this, is because they're being human. That's what we are. We are a human being. And he said most the successful ones turn it around and say, I am being human. I'm just being a better human. I'm being this, I'm being that, whatever they choose. And so he worked me through that. And my coach, he was my favorite coach, David Allen, late great David Allen. He was the coach for Andrea's financial planning firm, the one she was working for. And so he said, the best salespeople in the world, the best business people in the world, the best, he said, like and you're in real estate. Real estate is easy for you because it's just part of your identity. You're just being a real estate person on a daily basis. You don't have to really work at that. And so now to develop those other skills that it take to be a highly successful one, you have to make those part of your identity. And that's what happened with people when they're not accomplishing things. They're not making it part of their identity. They're just saying, this is what I do. The most successful people in the world says, this is who I am. It's just who I am. I'm on a daily basis. I'm being a successful entrepreneur. I'm just being an entrepreneur. When it comes to money, the wealthiest people of the world, or the most successful people with money, they're not. I know more people that's successful with money that's not the wealthiest in the world. That's like extremely high level. They're not the Jeff Bezos, the Elon Musk, those types of people. They're just everyday people that are handling their wealth. They're being wealthy is what it is. They're being wealthy. And that's why they're so successful with their money, because they're being, and out of their being, their actions comes from them being who they are. So you take any, the debate is who's the greatest basketball player of all time. As much as I like LeBron, I still lean towards Jordan. And Jordan, he talks about that. He said, I was just being the best basketball player I could be. And LeBron, he's the same way. I learned it from, reading about Michael Jordan. I actually met him in person a couple of times, things like that. I've not dealt with him directly in business, but, indirectly. And whatever he's doing is coming out of his being. He's just being Michael Jordan. He's being a business person now, entrepreneur, everything that he's done. And all of these people that I met that are highly successful is just who they are. They don't have to. On those days, they have those days. They have bad days like everyone else. I'm not feeling it, but I am the best basketball player in the world, and I practice like it. I practice like the best basketball player in the world. No, I don't feel like talking to clients today. I don't feel like calling clients today, but I am one of the best real estate salespeople, or the best financial advisor, or the best, whatever your profession or job is. You just do it because it's who you are. And so the discipline, it comes naturally. And once I was taught that, I thought back to my grandfather. He worked as a police officer at the sheriff's department in my home county. But he was also a farmer. He didn't have to motivate himself to get out there and take care of his farm in the mornings before he went to work, and in the evenings because he was like, hey, if we don't do this right now, we won't reap a good crop. We have to plant when it's time to plant. We have to harvest when it's time to harvest. If we don't harvest at the right time, food, the vegetables, they go bad. Fruits and vegetables, they will go bad if you don't handle, and if you don't sow at the right time, if you don't plant at the right time, you won't have the maximum crop that you could have. And so it's like that with business with us. We know that it's certain things we have to do in business to actually reap. So whatever you're reaping in 2024, you could probably go back to 2023 or earlier and look at what you didn't do right, what you didn't do, what you did and what you didn't do, and were you being that type of person. So when you're handling money, a wealthy person, they're out of their being, they're saving, they're investing, they spend consciously, they budget, they do all of those things, they invest, and they just handle their money out of being a wealthy person, because that's what wealthy people do. um, a person that's trying to do like the wealthy or have what the wealthy have, they will go out and buy a new suit and think that makes them wealthy, or they have certain things that makes them think they have wealthy, or they're doing what the wealthy do, and they do it, but they don't do it in a disciplined way. And so the wealthy, for instance, when they are invested in the market at all times, they don't allow their emotions to make them pull their money out of the market when it's on a down day. A person that's doing investing, they will, because they haven't become the investor that they want to become, the wealthy investor. They are a lower level investor. They're the average investor, and that's what average investors do. They will pull their money, put it in when it's almost too late, pull it out too early, things like that. And so back to, we was talking about about this daily live. I didn't intentionally set out to say, hey, I'm going to become a daily live video producer. I just said, okay, I'm going to achieve this. If I'm going to win this, the best way to do it is, my strategy was to just do a daily live, do it live. Because I didn't want to record. When you're recording, especially you wanted to do a daily one, there comes a lot of editing, things like that. You have to put your hands on it a whole lot more. And I don't have a problem with that. I have people that I could, that would help me with it. But I was wanting to see how much I could get done with minimal tools and efforts and things like this. I wanted it to be very efficient. And so, lo and behold, by the end of the year, we started in May. Competition started in May. By the end of the year, I have I think this is 140 of a live show. And so I didn't set out to say I was going to become a YouTuber, because it's on primarily Facebook Live. Um, YouTube, the program that I use, it allows me to broadcast to uh, other social media platforms. So I just chose two, because I didn't want to get caught up into trying to learn all of these different ones, IG, all of this. That's a lot of technicality on the backside or whatever. And if it comes down to it, I would do it. But I just wanted to, number one, re accomplish, achieve what I set out to achieve with the minimal effort. And I know that in the beginning of something, one of the quickest way to fail is try to do too much. And so I was like, okay, I want to keep this simple. Um, and I want to do it the way that I would do anything else, because you could easily try to build this big studio, have all of these cameras, have all of these people pull together, and it becomes this big thing, and now it's taking up the entire day. I didn't want it to be that way. I wanted to achieve something. I wanted to make this happen with as efficiently as possible. And so I sat down and I was like, okay, yes, we can do it live. It won't be as time consuming, and we can make it happen. And that's how I won. That's how I was able to win the contest. Now I have other goals in place that I want to take this. And that's what I'm working on for 2025. But I had to. This is what the first stepping stone. This is the first stepping stone to make to so I can understand what works, what doesn't work, what I need to do better. And it's a lot of things I know I need to do better, and that comes with a lot more input from outside people. Talking to them. And there's some good things that's coming down the pipeline, but this is what I wanted to talk about today in this sort of like a freestyle way, is just to be upfront and honest that whatever you're going to accomplish, if it is important to you and you really want to do it, work on your being first, the image of yourself. Who do I have to be? and being this person. What is this type of person? What do they do on a daily basis? Well, they're disciplined, they have things in order and all this. What do I have to do to make this happen? Who do I have to be to make it happen? Because that will be the quickest and most efficient way. It will carry you. Being carries you through those days you don't feel like doing it, because you're just being it, going back to what I said earlier. And so I saw my a viewer here. Let me catch this, because this is good, and he knows that we're being serious here. This is Anthony Moses saying real talk. And that's basically what I wanted to do today. Just have a real conversation on what it really takes to make things like this happen. That's just real talk. I don't know any other way. That's the way it was presented to me. And they were like, yes, you can do it. You can go this route. It'll take a long time, or you can work on your being, and it'll become much easier, because it's not on the outside, it's coming from the inside. It's an internal thing. So there's been plenty of days I've gotten up and I was like stretched out. I had a lot to do. Time was clicking, but because I've done this repetitively, and it's sort of inadvertently became who I am, I can do these. I can knock them out like it's really no big deal now, because it's just who I am. I didn't set out, like I said, I didn't set out to become that, but it happens because that's just how I operate now. I make things part of my being, and it's part of like my natural way of operating now. And that took work. It took coaching. It took people who are already that. My favorite coach, um, David Allen, he was before he passed away at 42, he was one of the world's top speakers. And before that, he was the top salesperson for Xerox. I mean, as an African American, he helped me through those types of obstacles, being African American, not having that high education, things like that. He was like, it doesn't count. I mean, he put me in situations that made me really work. They were very stressful, but I'm very grateful for them, because this is what I learned from him. And he had he passed away, and the day after he passed, he received his second book. His first book was like a bestseller, international bestseller. He was traveling with the same group that wrote the authors that wrote Chicken Soup for the Soul. The people that know about this book, like one of the best-selling book series in history, Chicken Soup for the Soul, Canfield, and I'm sorry that the other author's name slips my mind here, but they would call him. I would sit in his office, and they would call him personally, and they would talk business, and he allowed me to listen in on these types of things. And so that was a blessing in itself. I think if I hadn't have been so motivated and passionate about achieving something, I probably wouldn't have been put in that opportunity. But he just told me, when we talked one day privately, he said, um, you're the type of person that, you just have that internal motivation. You want to, you hate losing, you love winning, but you also hate losing. And he said, that's the type of people I like. I don't like people that can accept losing so easily. He said, because that means they have a little softness about themselves. They'll give up easily, or they'll just accept defeat and let it be whatever. He said, that won't carry you through those hard days. And believe me, I've had way more hard days than I've had easy days, whatever it is, it's going through. And so that's what I wanted to share today, is just this freestyle way of saying the easiest way to achieve your goals, especially when it comes to 2025, is work on becoming an excellent investor. That means you spend a certain way, you save a certain way, you earn a certain way, you invest a certain way. You will start putting things down that's just not important anymore, because this becomes more important. You will say, okay, the reason why I'm doing this is because I want to change my family tree. I want my kids to go to college. That's why I'm not buying all of this stuff anymore, because I'm putting money in these college funds, or I'm investing and I'm doing this. I'm wanting to build wealth, and home ownership is the foundation, in my opinion, of building wealth. The wealthiest people I know, they all own their home. I know that out there they're saying, don't really, that's an old way of building wealth. No, you can be in the market all day long. They'll put more stocks out there, release more stocks. They aren't making any more land. The piece of land that you own or you're buying, that's the only one. This is just as unique as your fingerprint. And so when you own it, you buy it in the right place, it appreciates in value, it'll create cash flow, it creates equity, those types of things that helps you build wealth. And so that's why you're doing it. You have to remember that why, and it comes from your being. The why is in your being, and that's why you will be more motivated to do what you need to do to make things happen. So I'm going to end it there. I could talk about this all day because I'm passionate about achieving goals and helping people achieve their goals. That's why I like doing these lives on a daily basis, is because ideas that hit me, I receive questions and I can sort of address them in real time. And so, but if you do have questions or you have comments, you have those wallet wins, those small wins that achieve big wins, big victories, share them. I will make sure and put them out there. That's what I'm here to do. So I've got some desserts to take care of and all this good stuff. So I'm going to get out of here for today, but I will be back tomorrow. Same time, same channel. Hope you have a good day.